Hello, everyone. I haven't been on here in a very long time, so I do apologize for that. But I do believe that there is always a higher purpose for these things that happen. Maybe I'm bringing on a new wave, a new collective of people on here as well, because I believe that many alignments happen in time, and there are millions of alignments that we don't even comprehend, we don't even notice happening. So today I wanted to come on here and talk about, actually let me put this inside my water cup. I want my brush to dry out. That's one of my good ones. Okay, let's take a minute to just breathe. So, today I wanted to come on here and talk about having big dreams, and I'll get into the rest. But I wanted to come on here and talk about how expression can be done in millions of ways. And I guess that a few months ago to now, YouTube and speaking my words, speaking my truth, was not meant for me in the months before. And it is amazing how that has all become full circle, because I've noticed that instead of speaking so often and almost giving like unsolicited advice in a way, was kind of intruding on myself and my own creative freedom and my creative, just my personal anything, like giving so much of myself to others. And in those months, I realized that I sort of, right now reflecting on it, I've been reclaiming and kind of reintroducing creativity to myself, and now I'm really opening up to the idea that that is what I am meant to be doing on earth. Like, that is my purpose, is to create in all forms and give myself to others, but not too much. Keep some for myself, give to others, you know? And I do believe that I am on earth because I'm meant to live my life so creatively free, and so free in general, that I make others want to feel that feeling as well. And the past few months I wasn't creating on YouTube. I was painting, I was writing, I was drawing, I was maybe just speaking with other people and coming to my own realizations without having to put them publicly, like grounding myself in the idea that I don't have to give my life to others, like I'm reclaiming my own life. And there was a time where I was so dedicated to constantly putting out the next video, having the next message to give, and I was sort of giving out of this almost people pleasing, not almost, it is people pleasing sort of thing where I want to fix the entire world, but at that time I didn't have the audience to be doing that, and I didn't have, you know, the sort of confidence to be just giving myself out like that. And maybe one day I'll end up really being that huge, but at this moment right now, I'm not meant to be giving myself so much to the point where my entire life is dedicated to giving to others. Because at the end of the day, this is my life and it's my choice what I want to do with it. Hold on 1 second, my phone is going to die. Let me just put it on the charger because I'm recording on my phone. Alright. I've gotten to a point where giving away my life is not a choice anymore. It's not. I'm coming onto YouTube to reclaim the idea that me being on YouTube isn't my only destiny. It's not my only expression. It's not my only path in life. It is one of the many, many, many expressions of creativity and my expressions of freedom. Freedom from people pleasing. Freedom from giving so much of myself. And I love it. It is the most beautiful feeling, reflecting and realizing that my life is mine and I don't have to give myself and everything I have to others. I can keep some things for myself, and privacy is not a bad thing. And I was so huge on being so open, being so vulnerable to others, but there's also things where you're not meant to share certain experiences you have because those are yours to keep. It is your life, and reclaiming my life has been one of the best things I've done for myself. And I will die on that hill. Keeping myself away from people pleasing so much is one of the most freeing things you can do for yourself. Not in just the general sense, but in the creative sense, in the expressive sense, in the physical, mental, spiritual, every sense. It is. And I think in the most effective sense this has happened to me in was my entire life. My trajectory of my life has changed because I'm not here to be constantly giving. That's not what I'm meant to be doing. And I am here to be my best version of myself, and while doing that, others desire that, and eventually do that for themselves. Because when I live my life as freely as I can, it makes others want to do that as well. And this is why I think it's such a full circle thing for me at the moment, because it is quite literally the opposite of what I was doing YouTube for. And I think that this is I think that YouTube and the universe and all the alignments that I've had this long is such a beautiful, beautiful journey for me to have been on and still am on. And it's it is one of the best experiences, that I've ever had, where you finally realize you've kind of been doing it wrong, but it's all in divine order. There necessarily isn't really a wrong in the first place, but in the way that I'm explaining it right now, it was totally the opposite of what I was eventually going to learn anyway. I was telling everybody to be vulnerable, be open, and then when I come back, I'm the complete opposite side of that field, where I'm telling people not to give so much of their life to others, to keep some things private. And that's not wrong, because I started out YouTube wanting to give to others, wanting to people please so much, and now coming back to YouTube, I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to do any of that. All I want to do is inspire for others and live my life so amazingly, because it is mine, but also because in that same aspect, the people that watch, people that see, the people that experience me and my essence and my presence and my drive and my creativity, even anything that has to do with me, people notice that these beautiful things about any person, not just me, any person, they kind of they look for the next inspiration, and living a life where you are living so freely, so beautifully, that it inspires other people to want to do the same is just, it's amazing. It really is. And just choosing that I can reclaim my life is an experience in itself. Really, it is just insane. So maybe that is what I'm coming back for. Not to come on and explain myself, but to kind of give that message to you guys that you can do this as well, through your expression, through your ways of life. You can change others without the intentions of changing others constantly. You can just be that almost like frequency of inspiration and change and reclamation in a way. And I think that that is one of the most beautiful ways to experience life, because really we're all here to kind of just learn and experience. And I think that I think that we're all here to learn lessons over and over again, and to experience life in the best ways that we can. Best ways being all emotions, because that is the human experience, and that's what we're here as. And I think that denying our expression and creativity and freedom is almost like denying the divine order. It's like denying divinity in a way. So I think that all my messages are ending up that you should be living your life because it is yours to live, and because you change yourself and change others unknowingly, and that Your creativity sparks things in you as it does others. So, I think that we are all here as sort of a manifestation of what God or the universe or source, whatever you think, wanted to create on earth. And when we aren't creating these things, we could physically get sick. We can become super, oh, there's paint all over me. It's over here too. We can become so sad or just explosive or angry just because we're not putting out what we're meant to be doing. And I think that those are all the things that I've learned in these past few months, where I've been more closed off to sharing my entire life. And I think that that is such a beautiful thing, because you're meant to experience life as possibly presently as you can. And me coming onto YouTube after every little, minor inconvenience was too much to be constantly doing that and kind of justifying it as this is what I meant to be sharing. But it was, in a way. This is where it's kind of like funny to me. It was what I was meant to be sharing, but only because I was meant to learn that sharing that much is not what I was meant to be doing, in a way. If you catch my drift right now, you'll get what I'm saying, because it all worked out, and it always does.